최고의 중전차. 적의 포화를 뚫고 진격하는 데 특화되어 있는 중전차는 진격의 핵심이 되는 전차라 할 수 있습니다. 이러한 중전차들이 적의 포화를 상당수 버텨낼 수 있으면서도 적에게 큰 한방을 날릴 수 있는 능력을 가지고 있습니다. 오늘은 워선대에 등장하는 중전차들을 살펴보고 진정한 챔피언을 가려보도록 하겠습니다. 왜 킹타이거가 있는 거지? 봅시다.
Heavy tanks are the main striking force of a team, used specifically to plow through enemy defenses. Vehicles of this type can take a lot of hits, but they're equally good at dishing out punishment.
MBT가 아니라
Today we're going to talk about the
중전차가
most
보니까
interesting tanks of the
어느
class
정도 낮은
available in
비할 때
War
그죠?
Thunder, the
이야기죠.
true heavyweight champions of the battlefield.
진정한 헤비급 챔피언 누구냐? 마우스.
The British Carnarvon is an early prototype of the Conqueror, fitted with a turret and a 20-pounder taken from the Centurion MBT. The Carnarvon features an extra thick upper frontal plate and a quick-firing, stabilized cannon with access to sub-caliber rounds. 10 degrees of depression give the tank a lot of flexibility on uneven terrain, and we suggest that you should really focus on hull-down positioning. Due to its low max speed and a low-power engine, the Carnarvon isn't really that mobile anyways.
기동은 좋지 않습니다.
The Tiger II needs no
킹타이거
introduction.
나오네요.
There are several variants of this tank available in War Thunder, each with its own set of strengths and weaknesses. Today, though, we're going to talk about the most well-balanced of them all, the Tiger II, with the late turret and the
생긴 거는 진짜
long-barreled
최강인 것
88mm
같은데.
gun.
멋있는데.
High explosive projectiles fired by 85 and 90mm cannons
85mm
can only
무슨
pierce
일이에요?
its frontal defenses through a machine gun port. More powerful guns can punch through turret cheeks, but it's still far from being a real weak spot. The Tiger II is no slouch in the firepower department either. Its 88mm KWK-43 cannon is one of the best guns at rank 4.
105mm 킹타이거 줘야지.
The Soviet IS-4 is one of the most
IS-4.
dreaded
진짜
opponents for rank
튼튼하죠.
5
진짜
vehicles.
튼튼하더라고.
Its armor can easily
거의 물리
bounce
면역
solid
같아,
shot,
물리.
high explosive, and even early sub-caliber rounds, while its own D-25 cannon can send most opponents back to their hangar in just one hit.
당장은
Just keep in
장전이죠.
mind that it takes the gun more than 20
지상전 한참
seconds
할 때
to
요거 좀
reload,
재밌게 탄
so be
적이
careful,
있었어요. 자탁
so that you
끌리고 하면
don't find
좋더라고.
yourself in a pickle down the road.
빡탄 있으면 그냥 찌약이고.
The American T1E1 is a rank 3 rock star.
T1이요?
While its
거기
armor is nothing to really write home about, the massive crew and the overall layout of the tank allow it to take a lot of punishment. The T1E1 is armed with a 76mm gun that comes with a vertical stabilizer, and you also have an additional
T34나
37mm
T29 이런 게
gun
나와야
that
되는 거
comes in
아니야?
handy from time to
왜
time.
얘가 나왔지?
Furthermore, this heavy
ER
tank has
맞춘다고 그러나?
surprisingly good mobility for its size and is really fast in reverse.
꾸준히 빠릅니다. 무슨 의미가 있어?
The French B-1 bis is one of the most well-armored rank 2 tanks. It is protected by almost 60 millimeters
프랑스까지
of
나와야
steel
되는 거야.
all around, including your sides and the rear. When using the B-1, you can simply disregard enemies with low-caliber guns. Their shells will just bounce off your armor like pellets. Despite this degree of indestructibility, you have to be really clever to be
프랑스는 번호가
effective,
최고
as
아닌가?
both the 47mm gun in the turret and the hull-mounted 75mm cannon have pretty low penetration rates. The M4A3E2 Jumbo, with a 76mm cannon,
점시요.
is a heavy, up-armored variant of the Sherman. In a down tier, you can be very bold and aggressive, as even Tigers and Panthers will have to
점시하고
rely on hitting your
EGA다고
weak spots
너게
to stop your rampage.
하나는 장갑이 좋고
If you're fighting
하나는
against more modern tanks,
발액이
then
좋아.
you can
그럴 것
rely
같아.
on your stabilizer and mobility
헷갈려.
to carry you through the day. In some combat scenarios, the Jumbo serves as an excellent assault tank. Sometimes it's more effective as a medium tank, but it always performs well, regardless of the circumstances. The American
드디어
T-26E5
나왔네요.
and the T-32 are
T32.
both based on the Pershing,
퍼싱이랑
and both play a
T32.
lot like the original M26.
장갑만 치면
When fighting
T32가 제일
one-on-one,
단단하지
they
않을까?
do really well thanks to their sturdy
예전에 나
frontal
이거
armor. Furthermore, their
포탄
gun
세
depression
발만
and
들고
elevation
있잖아요.
angles are pretty
그러니까
good,
진짜 안
allowing you to use
죽던데.
terrain to your
관통당해도
advantage.
이제
The
약실이 안 터지니까.
T-26E5 and the T-32 are well defended, well armed, and pretty mobile, all at the same time, which is a pretty rare combination for any class of armored vehicles. At the same time, the duo also share a single, pretty noticeable flaw. With all their firepower, they can still struggle a bit with penetrating enemy
생긴 것도
defenses.
단단하게 생겼죠.
Obviously, we've barely scratched the surface
야,
with this list.
나왔다.
In War Thunder, there are lots of rare vehicles of this type.
가장 비싼
The
탱크
Soviet
아닌가?
IS-7 and the Object 279 are heavies
가장
that
비싼 탱크
incorporate
두 대가
cutting-edge
나왔네요.
technologies of their time, striking a surprising balance
자,
between
IS-7하고
armor,
279.
mobility, and firepower. The American M6A2E1 is an excellent assault tank for people that like to bounce shots with their frontal armor. Finally, the Maus and the E100 are basically German moving fortresses.
자, 200이
They're slow,
140톤이었어요.
sluggish, and deadly.
무겁더라.
But what are your favorite tanks? Tell us in the comments below.
개인적으로 200 되게 좋아합니다. 월탱 버전 200 있잖아요. 저 150mm, 155mm인가. 끝. 난 200.